Red Bill, Red Bill. Red Bill, get up in the hollow. Red Bill, got him out of heaven, going in my garden, eating them a cabbage. Red Bill, get up in the hollow. Red Bill, got him out of heaven, going in my garden, eating them a cabbage. Red Bill, got him out of habit, going in my garden, eat them cabbage. Red Bill, get up in the hollow. Red Bill, get up in the hollow. Woo! Woo! Get him! Get him! Get him! Woo! Get him! Woo!
Hi everyone, welcome to Graveyard Shift. This is episode 9. I actually have something pre-recorded for you today because I was moving this month, so I didn't have time to work on an episode. So today's episode is going to be a rerun. Not anything that you've heard on 8Ball before, but a show that I did for Shared Frequencies, which is a station in Austin. You should definitely go check them out. They asked us to make some episodes of our own shows to air on their radio, and so what I did is I went to a graveyard in Austin, obviously digitally, and I had a look on who I could do a show on, who was buried there, and I found that John Lomax is actually buried in one of their graveyards, so I decided to do a show about him. John Lomax, famously one of the very, very early folk recording artists, so people to record American folk music. And yeah, so here's the show. You're going to hear it. You're going to hear me in the past describe it. And it's only an hour long, so I might play some songs for you after that. I haven't quite decided yet. So yeah, here's the show about John Lomax. Enjoy.
Yo soy el pato, tú eres la pata que en el estanque suele cazar. Ven acá ingrata, nada que nada sin descansar. Cuando el pato se muestra ingrato, la pata suele moverse así, hasta que tierno y enamorado le dice el pato con frenesí. Caracuac, cuac, cuac, caracuac, cuac, cuac. Ven acá, patita, no seas tan mala. Mira que te quiero, no encheques tu ala. No quiero que sea mi posesividad. I will repeat it. Yo soy el pato, tú eres la pata, que en el estanque suele cazar. Ven acá ingrata, nada que nada sin descansar. Cuando el pato se muestra ingrato, la pata suele moverse así, hasta que tierno y enamorado le dice el pato con frenesí. Cara cuac, 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 cara cuac, cuac, cuac. Ven acá patita, no seas tan mala, mira que te quiero, no enchoques tu ala. No quiero que sea mi felicidad, ya estoy muy cansada de tu aposidad.
Well, last Monday morning,
Lord, Lord, Lord,
well, last Monday morning,
Lord, Lord, Lord,
my daddy went a hunting.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
My daddy went a hunting.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, he carried along his Zulu.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, he carried along his Zulu.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, along come a gray goose.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, along come a gray goose.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, he threw it to his shoulder.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, he threw it to his shoulder.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, he ran his hammer way back.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, he ran his hammer way back.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, he pulled on his trigger.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, he pulled on his trigger.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, down he come whining.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, down he come whining.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
He was 6 weeks of falling.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
He was 6 weeks of falling.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
We were 6 weeks of finding.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
We were 6 weeks of finding.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And we put him on his wagon.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And we put him on his wagon.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And we take him to the White Eye.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And we take him to the White Eye.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
He was 6 weeks of picking.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
He was 6 weeks of picking.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Lord of your wife and my wife.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Lord of your wife and my wife.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Gonna give a feather picking.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Gonna give a feather picking.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And we put him on the poor boy.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And we put him on the poor boy.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
He was 6 months a poor boy.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
He was 6 months a poor boy.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And we put him on the table.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And we put him on the table.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Now the folks couldn't stick him.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And the folks couldn't stick him.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And the knife couldn't cut him.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And the knife couldn't cut him.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And we threw him in the hog pen.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And we threw him in the hog pen.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And it broke Betty's jawbone.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, it broke Betty's jawbone.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Then we take him to the sawmill.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Then we take him to the sawmill.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And it broke the saw's teeth out.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And it broke the saw's teeth out.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And the last time I seen it.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And the last time I seen it.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, it's flying across the ocean.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Well, it's flying across the ocean.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
With a long string of gold line.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
With a long string of gold line.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And it's going quang, quang, quang.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
And it's going quang, quang, quang.
Lord, Lord, Lord,
Led by Ironhead, Will Crosby, Mose Platt, and R.D. Allen. Spoken by Ironhead, Central State Farm, Sugarland, Texas. Claire Rock, Doe Belly, and Muffan. Hepton.
Hi, everyone. This is Ray from 8-Ball Radio. This is a special episode of my show, Graveyard Shift. Thank you so much to Shared Frequencies for letting me be here. Usually on my show every month, we take a grave at a different spot in Queens, so a different graveyard in Queens. Queens is the borough of New York that I live in. It's also the borough with the most graveyards. Out of the 5 that we have in New York, it has a lot more dead people than it does living. So we take a grave from there and we use it to talk about an era in New York City music. So either the person is a musician or their death influenced music in some way. Past episodes we've done have gone into calypso in the 1930s in New York, and also disco house music during the AIDS crisis in the 1980s. So yeah, thanks again for letting me be here. I decided to do something Austin related since y'all are in Austin. So we're going to talk about some of the just fundamental American music. So in your oldest cemetery in Austin, in the Oakwood, there is the grave of this very early music preservationist, John A. Lomax. He is mostly known as being the father of Alan Lomax, who continued and very much expanded his legacy. But John Lomax is the one who began these recordings, so who started this project of going across America and preserving American folk music. So John Lomax, he didn't seem to be that great of a guy. Alan Lomax seems to be a much better person and speaks more about his own values. But yeah, John Lomax, he still began this work and he lobbied for this music, which was mostly the music of Black incarcerated people that he recorded. Though we'll go into it, he recorded a lot of other things. He lobbied for that to be considered American folk as well, and it was not before. So we are grateful to him for that, even though, as you'll see, he is definitely more of a controversial figure than his son, Alan. So I'm just kind of going to use him. I don't really want to talk about his life too much, but I'm going to use him as a catalyst to play you music from a lot of the amazing people that he recorded. He died in 1948 and he stopped recording in the 1940s. So the newest recording I have for you is probably dated 1940. So we're going way back. And yeah, I started the program with 3 songs. So you heard A.B. Johnson, also known as Ace Johnson, performing Rabbit in the Garden at the Clemens State Prison Farm. So that's now called the Clemens Unit of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Anyway, he was incarcerated there and he was recorded by Lomax Sr., so John Lomax, in 1939. He's clearly just so good at the harmonica. I really enjoy the notes that he's doing while he's sucking in the air, those high notes that you hear. I was really impressed by that in this track, and also his ability to both sing and then put all this air into the harmonica. It was crazy. And then the second song was Los Patos by Manuela Longorio, recorded in her home. She was a school principal in Brownsville, Texas, and she was introduced to Lomax by a friend, and she just happened to perform for him some songs that her father had taught her, so these Mexican folk songs and Mexican play songs and ballads. And yeah, I don't know a lot about her after that. And then the final track was The Grey Goose. The man singing that song is James Baker, who was known as Ironhead. You hear them call him out at the end as a singer. And that track was recorded in the Central State Farm in Texas as well in 1939, where he was incarcerated. The song is about a goose. I really like it. Throughout the song, these men, they kill the goose, apparently, and then they try to bake it, and then they try to pluck it, and then they try to cut it, and it doesn't work, and then they try to put it through a sawmill, and it doesn't work, and then the goose flies away. I really liked. It was an Ironhead original, so he wrote that song, and not a lot of information is known about him, other than he was in and out of prisons and was often recorded by Lomax and that he had an incredible amount of musical talent, but I tried to find a little bit more of a biography of his life, and there's not that much stuff out there. But I really like that song. I think it can be, it's kind of a nice metaphor for breaking free and for being invincible to oppression. And I like imagining a fully plucked, fully cooked goose flying away. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna play you some more songs now. We're gonna start with more of a spiritual one. So here we go.
Oh, through the years I keep on darling, darling, through the dawn and dawn, watchful and patiently waiting, till my Savior comes again. Waiting, Lord, trusting in your word, keep me from the path of sin. Oh, hide me in your love. Why don't you write my name above? When the gate swing open, Lord, and let me in. Oh, proud will meet me dead for darling. Help me up on every hand. I have lived a many a trial. But someday I'll understand. Oh, I am praying, Lord, trusting in your word, keep me from the path of sin. Oh, hide me in your love. Why don't you write my name above? When the gate swing open, Lord, and let me in.
Oh, bury me now on the lone prairie, where the wild coyote will howl o'er me in a narrow grave, just 6 by 3. Oh, bury me now on the lone prairie. Oh, bury me now on the lone prairie. These words came low and mournfully from the pallid lips of a boy who lay on his dying bed at the close of day. He had wailed in pain still o'er his brow. talked of his home and his loved ones nigh, as the cowboys gathered to see him die. Oh, bury me now on the lone prairie, where the coyotes howl and the owl sports free in a narrow grave, just 6x3. Oh, bury me now on the lone prairie. It matters not, I have often told, where the body lies when the heart grows cold. But friends, oh grant this wish to me, and bury me now on the lone prairie. Oh, bury me now. And his voice failed there, but we took no heed to his dying prayer in a narrow grave, just 6x3. We buried him there on the lone prairie.
Me and my wife run all over town. Everywhere we go, the people would turn us down, Lord, in the bourgeois town. He's a bourgeois town. I got the bourgeois blues, gonna set in years all around. Me and Martin, we was standing upstairs. I heard a white man say, I don't want no niggas up there, Lord, he's a bourgeois man. He's bourgeois town. I got the bourgeois blues on a spreading you all around. Home of the brave, land of the free. I don't want to be mistreated by no bourgeoisie, Lord, in a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. I got the bourgeois blues are gonna spread the news all around. Me and my wife, we went all over town. Everywhere we go, the colored people would turn us down, Lord, in a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. I got the bourgeois blues, I'm gonna spread the news all around. The white folks in Washington, they know how. Took a colored man, a nigga, just to see him bow, Lord, it's a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. I got the bourgeois blues, I'm gonna let in use all around. Tell all the colored folks to listen to me. Don't try to find no home in Washington, D.C., cause there's a bourgeois town. It's a bourgeois town. I got the bourgeois blues and I'm so gonna bear the news.
Okay, so that first track you heard was When the Gates Swing Open by Eugene Blacker, Terrell Conley, William Brown II, and Alvin Brown. And all four of them were incarcerated at the Walls Unit of the State Penitentiary in Huntsville, Texas. Some of the artists recorded by Alan Lomax at that time were featured on a program called 30 Minutes Behind the Walls. I looked into this. It's really crazy. It was a radio station that was just broadcast live from inside the prison. I found it really insane to think about in the kind of prison industrial complex era that we're in, where there is like such regulated and limited contact between prisoners and the outside world, that there was ever a radio show that was documenting the music of incarcerated people live on air. So the show is amazing. It was called Inside the Walls, 30 Minutes Behind the Walls. And you should read more about it if you want. But it was incredibly popular. It had over 5 million listeners, and they sent over 100,000 fan letters each year. And it wasn't just music. Inmates would also give interviews about their life. And yeah, they would be in bands that would perform outside the prison. And the governor of Texas at the time is quoted as saying that it was a really great program and that it helped like humanize the people who were incarcerated, which is a crazy thing for, thinking about y'all's governor right now, who really sucks. Yeah, just a crazy thing to ever have existed. So let me know if you want to collaborate on bringing something like that back. I would be very interested. So just contact me. And then next, what did we hear after that? Oh yeah, we heard Frank Goodwin. Frank Goodwin, who was a cowboy, who was performing Bury Me Not on the Lone Prairie. He was a cowboy who recorded all of these cowboy ballads for Lomax. John Lomax began his studies into folk music through research into cowboy music and cowboy ballads, and he actually published a book in 1910, so way before he did these recordings, when he was a much younger man, a book of cowboy ballads that didn't do very well, but it does exist for free online if you want to check it out. And then after that, you heard one of my favorite Lead Belly songs. That is not a John Lomax recording. That's from Lead Belly's own archive of works that he produced solo. He wrote that song, Lead Belly wrote that song when he was visiting Washington, D.C. It's called The Bourgeois Blues. And he was visiting in 1937 with John Lomax, and he describes it as a very racist city. And he built a song based around these two anecdotes that he talks about in the song, where him and John Lomax could not find a hotel room that would allow the two of them to board together. And they also couldn't find a restaurant that would allow them to eat together. So they were not allowed to be together in public. And then he also had a lot of people who were racist to him in Washington, D.C., and he made this amazing song about it. It was very, very popular with the Communist Party of America, and they asked him to perform it at their summer camp, which I thought was really cute. And then the FBI put him on a list for being a communist. But anyway, Lead Belly is probably the most famous of John Lomax's recorded artists. They first met when Lead Belly was incarcerated in Louisiana, and then they continued to work together after he was freed. He played a 12-string guitar, which you can hear on that track. He's picking it. And I really think Lead Belly's story is interesting because he was very active and very smart about using John Lomax's interest in his music. So, for instance, he had the Lomaxes take his record in a petition seeking his release from Louisiana. His release from jail in Louisiana. So the Lomaxes took his record to the governor, who was Oscar K. Allen, to see if it could get him released, and then he was released. It's unclear if the record did anything, but he still used their interest in his music to lobby for his own release. And then after the release, he asked John Lomax to get him a job, so that he needed a job as part of his parole. So he asked John Lomax for a job, and then he was John Lomax's driver and helper recording this project for the next 10 years. And then it's also listed that he was kind of a liaison between incarcerated folks and between the recorders, so John Lomax and Alan Lomax later, and he helped them be more comfortable recording their songs in front of him. So he really did a lot for John Lomax and his archive, but John Lomax eventually kind of fucked up publicizing Leadbelly's music. He was publicizing it in a way that wasn't gaining Leadbelly a lot of recognition, and Leadbelly just got really frustrated with it, and they decided to go their own ways. And Leadbelly actually had a lot more success on his own, and he did remain friends with Alan Lomax. So it seems like his dad, I don't know, it doesn't seem like John Lomax, like I said, it doesn't seem like he was a really great guy. There's a lot of these stories where John Lomax has these fights with people and then they never speak again. And I'm like, if you have that many fights with people where you never speak again, I don't know. Anyway. What was I saying? Oh, Leadbelly is also a rare example of someone who Lomax recorded who could then go on to craft his own public persona. So who wasn't just a fragment of a recording. He was someone who then had a public persona. He had the ability to present himself with a bit more control to the public. Yeah, and so I was trying to find some more of his songs to play for you that I liked, and there's so many. It was really hard to pick, but I did find this one that I haven't heard before that he wrote about a different city. He wrote it about New York, and he died in New York, so he did live here for some of his life, and he seemed to really like New York City. So I'm going to play you that track, play you a few more of his, and then I'm going to play you some other John Lomax stuff. So here you go.
I'm in New York City, I'm gonna lower my line. New York City, yes, I'm hard to find in New York City. Woo, ain't that city? New York City, people got to lower my line. It's one thing, folks, ask you to do. Catch your bus and ride up Fifth Avenue in New York City. Ain't that city? New York City, people got to know my line. When you ride that bus, keep it on your mind. Ride that bus and you're gonna cost you a dime in New York City. Ain't that city? New York City, people got to know my line. When it began to get cloudy, it looked like rain. Step down south, you catch your subway train in New York City. Ain't that city? New York City, people got to know my line. Ever go down in Georgia, I'm gonna walk and talk and tell everybody about the city of New York is New York City. Ain't that city? New York City, people got to know my line. Ever go down in Louisiana, walk and tell, been on the top of this town here, and it's called the L in New York City. Ain't that city? New York City, people got to know my line. Trains run the ground and they won't keep still. Wanna catch me a train and ride to Sugar Hill in New York City. Ain't that city? New York City, people got to know my line. New York City, even got to know my line. Father, bring me the gold. What did you bring with your father? Keep him together, so Lord. I brought it. Yes, I thought it. You would bring me, keep them together, so. Son, I brought some silver. Son, I brought some gold. Son, I brought some everything. Keep them together, so Lord. I brought it. Yes, I thought it. You would bring me, keep him gathered, oh, here comes his mother. Mother, did you bring me silver? Mother, did you bring me the gold? What did you bring with your mother? Keep him gathered, oh, Lord. I told it. Yes, I told it. You would bring me, keep him gathered, oh, she brought it too. Son, I brought some silver. Son, I brought some gold. Son, I brought some everything. Keep him gathered, oh, Lord. I brought it. Yes. You bring me, keep them gathered, oh, tell me what you brought now. Now here comes a so-called friend. So-called friend, the best place you want to see in. Not out. When you're out, you shake a so-called friend's hand. You can't tell what it's all about. But when you get in, that's the place a so-called friend wants to see you in. And you know what he asked his so-called friend? Friend, did you bring me silver? Friend, did you bring me the gold? What did you bring me, my dear friend? Keep them together, so Lord. What did you bring? What did you bring me to keep them together, so hear what they said? I never brought you no silver, never brought you no gold. Just come by to see you. I'm going to get that, so Lord. I thought it, yes, I thought it. You would come see me, Pangled Gallows Bowl.
No me importa que me niegues tu amistad. Dice que tengo la de mi madre querida. Todas humanas ilusiones de la vida. Solo el amor de madre. Nada me importa del mundo y tu riqueza, ni de la sombra que se mueve a menudo. Todas humanas ilusiones en el mundo. Solo el amor de madre, solo el amor de madre, vida. De las pompas que se mueven a menudo, todas son vanas ilusiones en el mundo. Solo el amor de madre verdad, solo el amor de madre verdad.
Okay, so that was La Belly doing New York City and Gallows Pole. Both of those were recorded in 1940. And you can really hear it in Gallows Pole. You can really hear the 12-string guitar. It sounds insane. It sounds like he's playing two guitars at one time, which is, I guess, kind of what it was. And then the song after that was El Amor de Madre, performed by Agapito Salinas and Francisco Leal. And they performed this for John Lomax in 1939 at a private home. It was the home of a Mr. Moyer. And he was apparently an acquaintance of Lomax. And Mr. Moyer invited Lomax over and then invited all of his friends and family to come and perform Mexican ballads and play songs for Lomax's recordings. So it seemed like this was quite common for at least Lomax Sr. So John Lomax would be... People knew about him, they knew about the recordings he was making, and they were like, oh, come to our house. We'll sing things for you. And then he would just show up with his recording equipment. Yeah, I haven't played a lot of Women for You yet, other than that first track. So I'm going to play some more now. These next two tracks are from incarcerated women, so they were much rarer to find tracks of women singing. But I found a few, and here they are. So I'll play this one for you next.
So you try learning a language, but the moment you try to speak it, your mind freezes up because you fear being judged. See, the problem with traditional language apps is you're supposedly learning to speak the language by just using your fingers. Our lessons are designed to feel like real-life conversations you would have with a friend, a coworker, or even a native speaker you just met. Best of all, our speech recognition technology gives you real-time feedback so you'll know if you're on the right track. It's like having a language coach 24/7. You'll speak with confidence from day one, and you'll never feel embarrassed again, even when you freeze up.
You're probably here because you want to be able to speak Spanish confidently in any situation. The biggest problem you might be facing right now is you might feel intimidated, nervous, or even embarrassed when you're trying to speak Spanish. I mean, we all know that feeling when your mind just goes completely blank when you're in a real conversation. JumpSpeak uses an active immersion method, which studies show can be 3.5 times more effective when it comes to learning retention. You're going to find close to 1,000 conversation lessons designed by language experts that are fun, modern, relevant, using their local sign words. Our AI speech recognition will pick up words as you're speaking to let you know which words you said correct and how you can improve for next time. JumpSpeak also provides hundreds of bite-sized theory lessons that will
Captain don't lie, no trucking them down in here. Captain don't lie, no trucking them down in here. Well, we don't care what the captain don't lie, we gon' truck them down anyhow. Captain don't lie, no trucking down in here. Captain don't lie, no Charleston in here. Captain don't lie, no Charleston in here. Now we don't care what Captain don't lie, we gon' Charleston anyhow. Captain don't lie, no Charleston in here. Captain don't lie, no Susie Cute in here. Captain don't lie, no Susie Cute in here. Now we don't care what Captain don't lie, we gon' Susie Cute anyhow. Captain don't lie, no Susie Cute in here. Captain don't lie, no fish sailing in here. Captain don't lie, no fish sailing in here. Now we don't care what Captain don't lie, we gon' fish sail anyhow. Captain don't lie, no fish sailing in here.
Cuando al pie de tu ventana viene mi amor a cantarte, se me afiguran tus rejas transformadas un altar, oh blanca y rosa azucena, ven a escuchar mi canción. Porque debajo estas rejas me estoy muriendo de amor. Amor, amor, asómate a tu ventana, venir de rosa temprana, me estoy muriendo de amor. Tu boquita es un jazmín, tus ojos me dan la luz, tu frente hechiza una virgen, y esa virgen eres tú. Oh blanca y rosa azucena, ven a escuchar mi canción, porque debajo estas rejas me estoy muriendo de amor.
Okay, and we're back. So that first track you heard was Hattie Ellis singing I Ain't Got Nobody, and she was accompanied by Cowboy Jack Ramsey, and they were both incarcerated at the Goree State Prison at the time that recording was done. So 1939, They also could have been featured on that radio show I told you about at the top of the episode. And then you heard Captain Don't Allow, which was recorded in that same prison. The performers are simply listed as unidentified women, but maybe Hattie Ellis was one of them. We don't know. And that song is a penitentiary adaptation of Mama Don't Allow. So there was this other song that's like more of a folk song, and then they changed the words to target the captain of the penitentiary. So it was just, I really liked that song. I thought it was so strange and sweet and joyful, and it created such a dissonance in my mind with how repressive that environment is. And yeah, they sound really young. And I think that's one of the things that struck me as well, is how young they sound in that song. After that, you heard Getting Late in the Evening, which, God, isn't that voice, like, her voice is incredible. And that one is not recorded at prison. So we're skipping ahead. We're going to a new location now. So this song, the performers were Hattie Mae Howell, Cleo Johnson, Alberta Gibson, and Ernestine Oliver. And they were recorded at a school. This is a really important school. It's called Piney Woods. And John Lomax was there in 1937. And this was an independent black school that was founded in 1909 by the Piney Woods community. And it was a school that was like a grassroots school where black children could get an appropriate and good education, which was not available to them through state schools. So this was created as like an alternative independent school, which is so amazing. And it was also one of the first schools at all to accept disabled students. And it's still in operation. I was just really amazed and happy that we had these recordings of the school. If you want to listen to all of them, they're under Piney Woods 1937 in the Lomax archive, and they're all very beautiful. And then lastly, you heard that beautiful serenade by Henry Delgado, and the title is Al pie de tu ventana, at the foot of your window. And John Lomax recorded Delgado at the home of someone named Mrs. Krause. Who knows who that is? He visited there. And yeah, and then Henry was there. I don't know. I don't have any context. Sadly, I just have this person's name, and then they did one song. So yeah, that is one of the saddest things about this archive, is that there isn't a wealth of information about the people recorded. And that is one of the things I fault John Lomax for, is for capturing these recordings, but not capturing the essences or anything or any statements from the people who recorded them. Anyway, I realized that maybe you've been waiting to hear some work songs this episode. That is what John Lomax is most known for, recording, these classic like prison work songs that feature the sound of labor. And I did listen to those while making this episode, but I don't know. I just didn't really want to put them in here. I mean, I do know. Mostly I knew that that's what people were expecting, and I wanted to play some songs that were a little more unexpected. I also think that those recordings have served to become a kind of trope. You know, they've participated unwillingly in creating this trope of the prisoner that's like a cartoon, you know, like the person who's wearing stripes and who has a ball and chain. And the cartoon does such a disservice to the real suffering of the real people who are incarcerated. And I just don't know that now their image can be invoked without associating them with this cartoon. So I don't know. I just wanted to show you some other things that hopefully will delve into other areas of the humanity of people recorded. At least that was my hope. But as a little present to both me and to you, I will play some really great covers of what were originally those Chain Gang songs. So I have two covers to play for you that are both two of my all-time faves. The first one is Jimmy Witherspoon. He's doing Take This Hammer, and this is a recording from 1964. I really love his version because he somehow both conveys the hope in that song and also the sadness of the context of writing a song like that. And the second cover is Ry Cooder. He's going to do On a Monday, which was a really popular Lead Belly track. And I just love Ry Cooder. I love him so much. He has so much fun with it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the show today. Thank you so much if you listened. And yeah, all these people that you heard today, these recordings are from almost 100 years ago. So I'm so grateful that we get to listen to them together. Anyway, here is Jimmy.
Take this hammer, carry it to the captain. Take this hammer, take it to the captain. Take this hammer, take it to the captain. Tell him I'm gone, yes. Tell him I'm gone. If he asks you, was I running? If he asks you, was I running? If he asks you, was I running? Tell him I was flying, yes. Tell him I was flying. I don't want no cold iron shackles. I don't want no cold iron shackles. I don't want no cold iron shackles. It hurts my pride, yes. It hurts my pride. Now if he asks you, was I laughing? If he asks you, was I laughing? Now if he asks you, was I laughing? Tell him I was crying, yes. Tell him I was crying. Tell him I was crying, yes. Tell him I was crying.
On a Monday, I was arrested. On a Tuesday, I was locked up in jail. On a Wednesday, my trial was attested. On a Thursday, nobody would go my bail. Almost done. I'm almost done. Yeah. Almost done. And I ain't gonna bring them yellow women no bail. Take these stripes from around my shoulder. Take these chains from around my leg. Lord, these stripes, they sure don't worry me. But these chains gonna kill me dead. Yes, sir. Almost done. I'm almost done. Yes. Almost done. And I ain't gonna bring them yellow women no bill. On a Friday, my baby went a walking. On a Saturday, she locked me out the door. On a Sunday, we were sitting down and talking. On a Monday, she pawned all of my clothes.
Okay, so we have a few minutes left on our show. So I'll just end by letting you know that Leadbelly was the one who first coined the term stay woke. So yeah, I swear you can look this up. He was the first one to say stay woke. So yeah, thanks for listening and stay fucking woke, everybody. Bye. Okay, thanks everyone for listening. That was again a rerun from the show on Shared Frequencies Radio in Austin, and that was an episode about John Lomax, the recording artist. Hopefully I'll have some new material for next week. Gonna end the show a little bit early today, and yeah, see you guys next month. Bye.